Well, hello, everyone.
Howdy ho, neighbor.
That's in my best non-Eeyore voice.
Thanks for noticing me.
So everybody, since you're just coming in, go ahead and smash that thumbs up so you don't forget. Because a lot of times we'll get 70 to 80 people in here, and at the end of the time, you only have like 23 thumbs up. I don't understand that. It's the easiest thing you could do to help the channel out.
I quite often don't remember.
Well, quite often you're in here.
Well,
So
on a lot of videos, I mean.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. There's Brad's multitasking this evening. So hopefully everyone's doing well. Made their way back from the expo. I am looking forward to next week when all of the expo stuff is done for about 6 months, and we can move on to other topics. I know it was a great
time to start talking about expo.
I've probably seen 50 people today that are on my friends list posting up photo dumps and stuff from the show. It looked like it was a great time. So can't really say much about that, but boy, am I ready for it to move on.
I'd love to see that trade show. I love a good trade show. I'd love to see that trade show.
Yeah, it looked like it was really nice. And since I've gone, obviously when I went, it was Hive Life, and it has grown much larger than that. So it would be something I would be very interested in as well. The problem is for me is stopping myself from that impulse buy, right?
Leave all your credit cards at home.
Yeah. Well, most of mine are no good anymore anyway, but
I was going to say, or if you're like me, just max your credit cards. They don't work anyway.
Just max them out. You can't buy anything.
It's not a weakness. It's a ploy.
Right.
It's a mechanism. It's a coping mechanism.
And it looks like Dodd House did really good on the some of the photos that I've seen of like the Honey Show, and I know I've seen they had several things in there. Oh, the lollipops did honey lollipops too. I think it was Dodd House. Oh, thanks, David. Yeah, appreciate it. It's been 4 years. 4 years coming up.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been.
No wonder I got so old.
Yeah, it seems. Gosh, matter of fact, when I met you, which was about a year after we started this, I believe you were at about the same number of years that I am right now in beekeeping. So, like, this is year 7 for me, and aren't you all like 10 or 11? So it's about
right. I was about 6 years at that time, I guess.
You just say no, Bob. Right? Yeah, that's easier said than done. Easier said than done on some things. But I've been. First of all, before I get into what I've been doing, because that's a long rant. Let me ask you, Brad, what have you been doing?
Oh, hiding from the nasty weather, and it hasn't been super cold today, but it was really windy. I worked in a wood shop today. I made a slatted rack today.
A slatted rack?
A slatted rack. Let me show you what a slatted rack looks like. Well, let me show you what the slatted rack I made looks like. Let's see if I can share this. All right, there we go. Now, what you're seeing here is this is my old two-way pallet down on the bottom here.
Yep.
And this here is my new polystyrene hive body, which has 1.5 inch thick sidewall.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be bigger overall, and all of the extra space has to be on the outside. because the two fit together in the middle.
Right.
So I made this. It's made out of 2x4 because this wall is 1.5 inches. And so I made a 2x4 to match. And let's see, this way. Oh, that's the weather. This way. And I had to notch it out a bit to fit around the clip, the hive clip in the middle.
Yep.
And you can see it sits on here, so there's no gap under the box. And that's how the box sits on it. So that also gives me a wooden face here in order to use my oxalic acid vaporizer, because hot things and polystyrene don't go together so well. So that's what I built. It took me most of the day because it was prototype. I had to do different, try different things and figure out what I was doing.
We got a big mic down here. That looks good. Now the slatted rack is designed to impede airflow up between the frames. Is that the right idea?
Yeah, the idea with slatted rack is just to get the frames up a little higher away from the cold entrance. And I think that'll be a benefit, but that's not primarily why I'm making it. It's to adapt my box to this old pallet that I have, so I don't have to rebuild all my pallets.
Now,
and also give me that heat protection.
I got you. So as you go forward, like when you have to start replacing pallets, you will make them specifically designed for those polystyrene?
No, I've got lots of these two-way pallets, so I don't need to make more pallets for myself. So I'll just build these slatted racks as I go. I need 6 of them now. I have 6 boxes now. I don't know if I'll buy more boxes this year. I might. But yeah, so that's what I did today.
That seems like a cool project.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Doug.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Doug. Hey, Bob.
I sat at the table.
Okay. Well, there was a question here, but
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, this was where's the bottom board and entrance? Well, I'll bring that back up.
The pallet has its own entrance.
Yeah, so it's not. I guess it's not really apparent from the picture, but this, if you look on this side of the pallet, there's a 3/4 inch shim here, and in the middle and on the side. So there's a 3/4 inch gap right here under that slatted rack. So that's where the entrance is. Is that clear enough? Yes? No?
It is
I
to me.
understand it.
Okay.
I can see it.
Let's see. Okay. So that
I got some recently back in a purchase that the slats go the opposite way.
They go the cross?
Yeah. They were manufactured ones.
I
think they consider it a warm cold over in Canada. You run it the warm way or the cold way?
Yeah, I've heard that term. That term is generally
Not in Canada,
used.
I mean in England.
That term is generally used when you decide whether the frames are going to be parallel or perpendicular to the entrance. I think the slats on the slatted rack really should run the same way as the frames, because it just prevents, the reason those slats are there is it prevents the bees from building a lot of comb on the bottom of the frame.
Yeah,
because there's another piece of wood there.
A lot of times there's about a 3.5 inch board in the front to keep the cold air from coming directly.
And that I didn't do. And the reason I didn't do that is I didn't want to make these left and right, because then I'd need a left one and I would only have a right one at hand. You know what I mean? So So I wasn't building them necessarily
them
for the
so you can
slatted
treat.
rack. I was building them for those other two reasons.
Yeah,
So,
I figured that.
I think there's some benefit anyway, just to raise that brood nest up above the bottom board a bit, especially for wintering. When I winter those boxes.
So your slats are right under each frame?
Yeah. And they're 3/8 of an inch down from the top of the slatted rack.
But basically, the slatted rat is just an extra benefit of basically it's a standoff for your pallet. It's a pallet adapter essentially for the polyhives.
It's a pallet adapter. That's exactly what I called it in my video. It's an adapter plate.
Let's see, how am I going to do this?
Spoon.
That's that spoon I was telling you about. Yeah.
That's the
little piece of parchment paper, so it doesn't stick to the plastic on the front.
Those are nice. I saw some photos.
They had 3 different flavors.
Lollipop. So you just added some flavor into it.
See, here's another benefit that I often overlook, is it just gives them extra room on the bottom to hang down and to cluster in swarm season. So it just relieves some of that congestion.
Has anybody had them build comb from those before?
I have. I had one hive that I bought years ago, and I used it, and I'd love to show you because I preserved it. And it had a form of slatted rack under it, and they did build all kinds of comb underneath it.
Kind of bridge comb between the frame and the slatted rack?
No, not between the frame and the slatted rack, between the slatted rack and the bottom board, because there's a bunch of space there. There's an inch and a half or something below it.
Well, the last couple days here have been. I have to choose my words carefully when I'm using the phrase "cold" with my present company.
It's been actually the same temperature here as it's been there.
Yeah, like zero degrees C.
Yeah.
In the morning, and then today it got up to maybe 45 to 50. But the wind wasn't blowing today. Yesterday it was just wind blowing, cold. Not a very good day. Today was for the people following the honey table saga. Today was the absolute worst day that I've had since I've been out there. So I sat all day for $45. Not a great sales day, but you know what? I'll be back out there tomorrow and do it all over again, and we'll just keep it rolling.
Still $45.
Well, here's the rule.
This morning.
No matter how many days you sit there, and no matter what your sales are, there's always going to be one day that's the worst day.
Yeah, that's true.
So now, since your worst day was pretty bad, all the other days are not going to be your worst day.
Yeah, I can say, well, I might as well stay out here because this still isn't as bad as the last time I was out here.
Make more money than I did on Tuesday.
But it's you just got to get out there, right? All about the average. That's it, for sure. And I still had people. I had a couple people stop today that were new people that hadn't stopped before. So that's what it's all about. Just more different people stopping at this point. And I've been doing some figuring, and I haven't made a official decision yet, but I'm pretty close to saying I'm just going to wait. And we talked about it. I've been looking at little buildings and other kind of things, trailers, as far as ways to have my honey stored where I don't have to continuously take it down, put it up, take it down. And if I do, it's just setting up the table portion of that test, not actually setting up a table, putting it in the truck, driving the truck around, unloading it's going to rain. Let me unload all the truck. And then tomorrow, it's nice. I have to load the truck back up and do all that stuff. So a couple things from there. But, nothing cured me from spending money like today did and having a $45 day.
I was going to say, when you said that earlier, I was going to say, aren't you glad you didn't buy that building yesterday?
You know?
kind of jolt you into reality.
I almost bought it. So I don't know if it's, I'm sure it's a lot of places in the United States, but we have basically they're rent to own buildings, right? So you go and you put 1 month down, which in this case would have been $345. And then they come and drop a 12 by 24 building wherever you tell them to. And then they level it out. And boom, voila, you have a building. And then Brad says, well, remember, you got to do this and you got to do that and you got to run electric and you got to.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Sunshine over here.
Yeah, he's just raining on my parade. No,
yeah. I could just see you. I'm going to get this new building dropped off in my yard and then kind of, now what? I don't even have lights in it.
Right. Well, yeah, there's ways to do that, but all that still costs money, right?
It's all work.
Still costs money. So, and my buddy owns the place, and he said, I can have it out to you this week if you get one of these. And I'm like, oh, well, I like this one. And then I didn't pull the trigger.
Don't do it.
It is a commitment without knowing, right? It would be nice. Don't get me wrong. It would be nice to have it set up. As long as
this model for a month, my friend.
Huh?
You've been working this model for a month.
Yeah, and it's been the cold season, so it could be the worst or it could be the best part of the year. I don't know.
Just do what you're doing.
So that's kind of it. But I will, at least I can fantasize about it, I guess, for a lack of better term. Let me see if I can show at least the front part of the building, the one that I was looking at. And to give you an idea, it looks, not only would it look like this would be the one that I was looking at. So we'll share that. So they dropped that off in the front yard. It's a little porch style storefront. And then I'm saying, well, it's a double-edged sword. So even if you have something like this, it's much more space than I need for one table, right? So then you have to buy either shelves or racks or something to even make it look like a storefront, right? But anyway, that was the idea for those people on here.
You ever give thought to a trailer?
Yeah, that's what Brad's been trying to talk me into. That's where he's trying to sway me to the trailer, because you can just leave it. I could take it to a show if I needed to, or I could just pull it up front.
When we used to do markets, I often wished I'd have purchased a trailer. You go there, open the door, and you're in business.
Yeah, Brad, show us your little setup, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll have to find it again.
So it's it's definitely different things I'm kicking around, right? Good thing is I could always put the bottling tank in the building and bottle honey right there while I'm sitting, instead of having to do
bottle to order.
Bottle to order. Oh, which one you want? Here you go. Yeah, I could probably build it in a few days, but that requires money. More than $345. That's the benefit of that building, is that it's already pre-made and they'll just drop it off, right? It's not it is kind of a construction issue because you got to have the money for the stuff. And with that one,
they sell the same things up here, Bob.
Oh, do they?
Exact same.
So this is what we did. We've been doing markets for years, and we hardly do any markets now. But I own this trailer, and this is kind of a concept. This is a proof of concept. I bought those banners to put on the inside of the barn doors, and that's just a 6-foot folding table, exactly the same thing as what Bob's using, set in the trailer there. And so we just wanted to kind of see how this worked out. And I'll make some modifications to it in the future so we can still use it. I found that because of the way the trailer was on the ground, the table ended up being a little bit high, so I can manipulate that and bring that down. So anyway, that's what we did with our trailer. That's a 14-foot V-nose, plenty of space in there. If I was going to do this, I'd put some shelving up and racking and stuff for the products and supplies.
How much stuff you could take home from Nobby with that?
I could take a lot of stuff home from Nobby. Yeah. Yep. That's always the plan, is to show up with my truck and cargo trailer.
Load it down and...
Yeah.
I have the same trailer, other than I've got ramp doors in the front V. I've got shelving built across where the V is.
Oh yeah, this one was a ramp when I bought it. I converted it so I could load it with a forklift. And then there's times now that I wish it was a ramp. So, nothing perfect.
One disadvantage with the trailer, maybe, Bob, or even the little building, with the temperatures you get, you might have liquid honey instead of creamed honey.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, it would definitely be something that I would have to have some kind of refrigeration in, right? So, but then again, when you only sell $45 worth of honey in a day, it's probably not even worth even talking about.
You're all about worst case, aren't you? It's like, it used to be, well, I'm averaging nearly $300 a day. It's going really great. And one day it's, well, I only do 45 now.
You never know. Well, in all fairness, I did have one day.
Is this glass half full or half empty?
That's 3/4 full, sir. But yeah, so it's so new that I can't. I've got an average for 2 weeks, right? And I know what I did last month, but it was December. So there are several things to look at. And be honest with you, if I get one, I won't even get a new one. I'll get a used one, right? And try to. That's the plan, to try to get a used one and then take it down to the sign shop and say, hey, wrap this thing for me, or put some things on the side for me, or something, The building just was an easy thing as a thought, but then, the items that I have fit on a 6-foot table, right? So do I need, what is it? 12 by 24 is what, 250 square feet ish? Do I need 250 square feet? No. Then I'll be contacting you guys. And how do I make lip balm? How do I make lotion bars? How do I make soap?
2 months, that building would be so full of junk you wouldn't be able to even sell honey out of it.
And then
I think a building would limit you too much, Bob.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you got
that trailer. You put all your stuff in there. You drive it out there in the morning, and you open the door, and then you close the door in the afternoon, and you drive it back. Nobody's going to give you any zoning grief or anything.
Right. That's true.
I don't know about your country, but up here, they might think there's a snowmobile in it, and it'll be gone in the morning.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, right? It could be broken into. I mean, same thing with a trailer, but it's out of sight, out of mind if it's sitting behind my house, right? Where if it's sitting up front.
You put a big sign on it, caution, live bees.
Live bees, yep. I did have a customer today, very nice young lady. Very hippie, I'll say that way. She was about as hippie as anybody I've ever seen in recent years. She wanted to meet my bees. That was her exact words. And I had to get a chuckle. And I got a chuckle because I did let her meet my bees.
Oh.
And when she was leaving, she was telling me how nice my bees were. And if you've been following me and my channel, that is not the case at all. So I got a little chuckle out of that. So
she has deviated from reality of a situation.
Yes, that's for sure. I do have a pop-up tent as well. The thing with the pop-up, the difference between a pop-up tent and a trailer is if I put up the tent, yeah, I can put it up by myself. I can take it down by myself. It takes a little bit of extra time, but I'm typically not going to leave that in the front yard overnight, right? So every day I'm taking it up and putting it down. With the trailer, I could even rig something up. I could leave my truck parked there all night long. It would not.
You could put
just
a car
drive it out there.
Stay in it.
Hook it to your truck, drive it to your front yard, sell for the day, and then drive the rig back again.
Yep, I could do that, and
because then you don't have to walk back to the house.
I don't have to worry if it rains, right? Because nothing's going to get wet in there. I don't have to worry about the wind blowing the tent down the street, stuff like that. So it is a good idea. But like I said, the building, the only thing that made it really intriguing to me was the cost to get into it, right? $345 and it gets delivered to my house. That's good. But then it's $345 a month for, 48 months or whatever it is.
Yeah,
so
way too much money.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
Half that you could have a brand new trailer that's, more than enough for what you need.
Hold on 1 second. You guys talk amongst yourself.
Talk amongst yourselves. So, Doug, it's been raining there or just melting or both?
Correct. It rained all yesterday evening. By the time it got dark, everything was ice. Woke up this morning, like it thawed all night here. Woke up this morning, ice was gone. And I helped Nathan. We wrestled steers today and hauled to the market in Burden. Rained all the way back. Had to have the windshield wipers on so you could see to drive.
Wow. Yeah, it was 3 last night here, and most of the snow was melted off the cars this morning. So I don't know if the whole audience here realizes how weird that is, but not really that weird. I've spent enough winters in this country that January thaw is more often than not, right? We get a January thaw.
The thing that's weird, we've had 4 rains now since the 1st of December.
Yeah. You've had some more variable weather than I have had here.
Ian asked you, is there no meeting tonight, Brad?
Oh, well, I didn't go. Yes, there is a meeting tonight, but I didn't go because they've been forecasting all day freezing rain this evening. I didn't want to get caught in the city and have ice roads, so that's why I'm not there.
Ice road trucker.
But I'm not going to ditch the cat, but that's the shirt I have on is my ice road trucker shirt. So maybe just put on the ice road trucker shirt and I should make it just fine.
Bad accident at number 10 highway by Mafeking. School bus rolled.
It's up north, my hometown.
Yeah.
Bunch of little kids went to the hospital.
Mike Tangway says he's going to build a 14 by 24 building this summer.
Wow, that's
today was interesting because my bees were bringing in a ton of pollen today. So they will be, if they haven't already started ramping up. So that's a good sign for us. Rick says that cat keeps you warm.
Yeah, he does. It's a bit warm sometimes.
It's a big kitty boy. So, Doug, you're buried in snow up there? Or is it?
Yeah, we got a fair amount of snow. Go 20 miles south of us, and they got about half the snow we have.
Brian says his
bees. So you're riding now, Doug?
No, everything's ice here now. I think I'd burn my sliders off.
Yeah.
Put some beeswax on them.
Yeah. Maybe I could patent that.
Let's see.
Do you run picks at all in the tracks or?
No, we don't.
Yeah, see, I did because we have a lot of ice here, and I used to ice fish and pull my sled across the lake, and you really needed them to keep everything lubed up.
Yeah, no, we're on groomed trails, so picks kind of rip them up.
See if there's anything in the chat here.
Straight on fresh tonight.
All right, what's this say? Mine is all steel insulated, 2 steel doors, 1 3-foot, 1 4-foot, and 3 windows, free delivery. $100 down and $100 a month for 90 months.
90 months.
9,000? Is that 9,000?
That could be like the rest of my life.
$1 a day for the rest of my life.
You almost made half a month's payment today, Bob.
Yeah, I only had to do that like nice. 9 more times I could pay for it.
4-foot door is a good idea.
What's that?
4-foot door is a good idea.
A 4-foot door is a great idea.
I could fit my extractor in there. Of course, when I need to do extracting, it'll only be about 10,000 degrees in that building, unless it had air conditioning in it.
It would come out easy.
Yeah, it'd come out really easy. What'd you do? How'd you decrystallize all these buckets of honey? I just put them in my sales hut. They just come out decrystallized.
Every good honey house has a hot room, Bob.
That's right. My honey house in the summertime gets pretty warm. Gets pretty warm. I've thought about cutting a hole in the side of the wall and putting a wall unit in, like a window unit through the wall. What about a used carport? Yeah, you can get carports pretty cheap down here too.
That's not secure though. There's no security there.
Yeah,
a trailer in there.
To put your trailer in.
Pull it in. No, I think he's talking about just as a permanent structure to put the table under. But yeah, that's the same thing. I'd still have to load the honey up and carry it around. The only
thing that solves is not taking your tent down.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that would be a great solution.
But it's hard to take to the other side of town for a sale.
Yeah, and if you leave your product in it overnight, then, well, it's hard to lock up a carport. So it's a bunch of different stuff. There's all kinds of options. It just depends on what the end goal is, right? And I really haven't, I guess the best way to say it is I really haven't figured that out, what the actual end goal is, right? Is the end goal just to have a table out front that I don't have to carry honey to, or is it somewhere that I want to load up and start going to a bunch of shows, or, all that stuff makes a difference, right? And here's the thing, those buildings and trailers and everything, they don't make you any money. They don't make you no money. They cost you money, but they don't make you any. So I was thinking about that the other day, about you've been doing really well, notwithstanding today's total. You've been doing really well, and that's a viable business model. Like if you can make that kind of money every day in your front yard, just do that, right? But the weird thing is, it almost seems like not a viable model because it's so easy and straightforward, right? I have a folding table in my front yard. That's my business. Yeah. It's funny because it's almost like when you were a kid and put out a Kool-Aid or lemonade stand or something like that, and you could do $200 in lemonade every day. I would have been a lemonade salesman for the rest of my life, right? Yeah. Yeah. But hey, you're kind of like, at this point, you're kind of thinking, that it's not the end game. It's not the model that you're going to pursue, because somehow it has to be harder.
Right.
It has to be harder than this. Well,
the hardest part about it is fighting the boredom.
Yep.
The rest of it's easy. Sitting there selling to a customer when they pull up, that's easy. For me, it's just the sitting with just cars driving by all day, right? That's the hardest part for me. And
are you taxed on outbuildings in your yard?
That's a great question. I don't know. I've never had an outbuilding in my yard. So that would be a interesting question. I did ask the gentleman, that the friend of mine at the place, about the county codes, because that's the county he operates in, and he puts them in there all the time. He says he's never had anybody have to get anything moved. And the law is kind of vague, like all the other laws. It says you should try to put it on the side of your home or in the back of your home, unless you can't navigate those areas. So what is that saying? I mean, I've got trees in my backyard. It's hard. I can't put it in there, right? My wife had a good idea. She said, "Oh, you can just put it on the side of the house where the bees are." And then I said, "Well, where the hell would I put my bees then?"
I think Brian Cooper's been drinking.
Yeah.
Do some squats and push-ups while you wait. Yeah, that'll happen. Hold on. Hold your breath until you see me do that in a video. see what happens. Guarantee you run out of air before I do doing push-ups. Hell, I can't even walk a ladder. I fell off a ladder the other day in my yard trying to trim a tree.
There's got to be something you could do. You could do your taxes. You could read a book. You could,
Yeah, that's what Ian said. Do you read books? Yeah. I do mindless scrolling through my phone on Reels, right? That's what I do. However, I can't even do that without having to charge it up, because if I do, someone will show up and then my credit card machine won't work because my phone's dead and it needs to be tied to the hotspot, right?
Yeah.
So, but other than that, that's not hard to overcome. I mean, because there is a lot of dead time. I'm anticipating here in the next month or so, I'll be spending more time in the bee yard, which I can still see the table from my bee yard. So as long as not too many of them follow me to the table, I'm in good shape, as far as doing that. But, who knows? Maybe those people want to meet my bees as well, and then they can up close and in person. I told Brad I was going to save it till the next time she comes to buy something to show them the true personality of my bees in the spring.
I told Bob that he needs to explain to her that they're not very social and they usually have a bad attitude.
Yeah. But they were nice today. They were on a mission. I think they found some pollen sources, and they were all about the pollen today. So it was pretty good. And it's one of those days. I did take yesterday off. My mentor Brad said that I need to make sure that I do take some days off, just so I don't get burned out of doing it, which was a good idea. But I will say it was hard for me to get up and get motivated to do it this morning after taking one day off. So yeah. I had to force myself back out there. And, but like Mike said, it's $45 I didn't have before the day started. So yeah, we'll keep that moving. The real bee experience for sure. I should just bring some extra coats out there and start doing hey, for $15, well, you can go out and look in a hive with me.
Get you some apitherapy.
Yeah, get you some apitherapy for sure.
You may want to have them sign a form.
Some non-regulated apitherapy.
That's it. It was no sale.
He said that he was a little worried to take her over there, and I said, "Dude, that would make fantastic content."
Yeah. Well, she does have social media she said she was going to post up and share. She actually filmed some video on her phone.
Oh,
So, and she said she would tag me in it, but I haven't seen it. So,
that's cool.
See how it goes. So it's a good thing. Good thing in the end of it all. But, everybody's different. You can have blue hair if you want to. That's not my thing. But it was very interesting conversation, especially after sitting out there all day and not having any sales. And then she comes up by us.
A wise man once said that better to be judged by the content of your character than the color of your hair.
Right. Or the length of your leg hair. All right, Banhammer people. Where's DC when you need him? The asylum is live, eh? No idea. I've been getting a lot of that lately, and nobody has hammered him yet.
I did.
Oh, you did? All right, cool. Which is weird because I have a lot of people that are set up as, and I haven't seen DC. I hope he's all right because I haven't seen him in the last little bit.
He's in the chat there.
Is he? I didn't see him through.
Not the last couple of minutes, but he's been chatting.
And there's Steve Amos. Hey, Steve, good to see you. I might need to promote some more people up with the Banhammer. Oh, there's DC. I see him. I had to scroll back through the chat a bit. So I would love to ask you guys what you guys have coming up for your bees, but the answer is nothing for the next bit.
I'd like to check them today, but I didn't have the yard blown out enough to turn around with the trailer I was pulling. And I didn't want to back up a quarter of a mile with it.
Well, that's the other thing about my place, right? Is with the trailer, could be hard to turn around in the back because of the trees and everything. So
that's what they make chainsaws for.
Yeah, if I do have a chainsaw, but I don't have the confidence to drop a tree where it won't drop on my honey house. And in my luck, it would drop right on my honey house and wipe out the extractor and that's the only thing it would hit too. It wouldn't hit any of the garbage sitting in there. It would land squarely on my uncapper and my bottling tank and my spinner. Let's see. I saw somebody saying, what's the temperature's been like for you, Doug?
+4 to, well, yeah, 3s and 4s plus side.
A couple more degrees, they'd be out flying.
Oh, I think you probably would have today if they were out of the wind. I'm sure there'd be yellow snow.
Let's see. All the spam.
But I'd had to take the sweaters off and give them umbrellas today.
Rainy day today?
Yep.
I think Big Mike's got rain or snow.
We lost most of it while I was gone. Guess they had some rain and some warm weather.
I appreciate everybody that is smashing trolls.
Sure under attack, eh?
Yeah, it's it happens when you do live streams sometimes. They probably give me more thumbs up than the people actually watching though.
Well, it's what do they call it? Engagement. So
oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I saw this and I didn't post it up because somebody was saying something. But thank you, Steve. I appreciate that, buddy. You're my hero as usual. Yeah.
I'd have to turn my dinosaurs loose after those guys.
Give Triceratops to go get them. That's I don't even know who these people they're talking about are, and they just. And here's the thing with StreamYard: once they've posted, even when it's hammered in YouTube, it still shows up in our chat over here, guys. So
yeah,
makes it very difficult to read through and see what's going on. The algorithm's sending them in, eh? That's what happens when you put a bunch of shorts up.
Yeah, I guess so.
I put a bunch of shorts
be careful
up today, and it's showing like close to 4,000 views over the last 2 days, and all pretty much came today. Hey, Lisa, good to see you. Danae's quick, eh? Give her the sledgehammer. Let him just smash the crap out of them.
Yeah, quicker than I can be.
I stirred for overdid it. 15 minutes of time for several days that ended up being 3 hours. What I'm missing.
I'm not sure what that comment is.
It probably has something to do about creamed honey if it's 15 minutes at a time. But I don't know, mine just goes. And you know what? I noticed, and nobody told me this because I don't know what the answer is to this question. So anybody that does have a creamer and knows, maybe they can answer it. I saw some videos from Nobby with creamed honey, and they were their motor was turned up very high. And it seemed like it was spinning very quickly inside the creamer. Mine has never been that high. And after I saw that, I did turn it up. So does anybody know, is there a setting that it should be on? How many rotations? Or, it doesn't really say on the little knob, right? It's just the little turn knob that has like 20, 40, 60. I don't know if that means revolutions per minute or if that means, what that means. Even.
Don't you want to run that just about as slow as you can, Doug?
We do. Ours very slow.
That's how I have.
You're blending. You're kind of blending without introducing any air is what you want to do, is in my understanding.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the difference between whipped honey and creamed honey, right?
Well, yeah, but you don't have to go very fast before you're going to incorporate air, and that's going to work against you.
And I'm sitting here because I see everybody's creamed honey comes out very nice and white. I mean, like white color. Mine never comes out white. And
well, it's the honey too. If it's not light honey, it's not going to be white when it's creamed. Yeah. Like Doug's honey would be just like snow when it's creamed.
The other thing with the creamer, I think the blades, the more vertical they are, the better. I want them almost pushing their way through rather than stirring.
Yeah, mine just have a little
tilt
to them. Just a little tilt to them. Just kind of pushes it, but then some of it rolls over the top of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if Doug's creamed honey is almost as white as snow, if he adds lemon, is it yellow snow? And if it's yellow snow, do you eat it?
You don't eat that. Transitive properties, eh?
That's when I lived in Iowa. That's what they told us. Never eat yellow snow.
That's right.
Everybody up here from about a 2-year-old up probably knows that rule.
Yeah, you know that for sure.
Or the little brown specks in the snow, either from the rabbits, right, or critters.
Yeah, those aren't raisins.
Although it's okay to lick the block of salt out in the pasture.
Yeah, the one that the cows have been licking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, one of the companies had a large auger versus paddles in their creamer. That Canadian company that had the big 35,000. It was 35,000 a year or so ago.
No, that they had a smaller version this year. It was 5,500.
Oh, let me go buy one of those.
No, the one that had like the big auger was from Europe. It's the same one Richard Noel is using.
Let me
And
go buy
they have
it.
the same bottling line.
Bob, you're going to have to appoint me as your trustee.
Right. Yeah.
Let me go and buy a $5,500.
That was 100% sarcasm. So the thing that I noticed when he had the big creamer, that he would run it, and then he would take it after he emptied it out. He would take all of that into the cooler, and then he would cool it for 24 hours, and then he would bring it back to the creamer and run it again, which is kind of what I'm doing inadvertently now, right? Is that I made all those deli trays, and then I bring that honey back and put it back in my mixing bowl and turn it again. And it does make very nice creamed honey when you do it that way. But it's a lot of work, extra work. So that's
that did seem like a lot of work.
It is. It's extra work, but
no, I mean the guy with the big fancy one.
Yeah, you think if you're spending 35 grand on a creaming machine, you put it in there and it comes out creamed honey and you're good to go.
Well, yeah, I saw that thing and I thought, I don't know, like what are you saving here? Because it's a ton of work. You always have to put it in the cooler and take it out and run it through and back it up and put it in the cooler.
The cooling does help it set better.
Yeah, that's a big important part of the whole process.
So that's one of the things that I fight, right? Warmer temperatures. So even if it's cold outside, you don't think my wife's going to let the room be 58 degrees, do you? No, it's going to be 70. 70.
What's your ideal temperature, Doug?
54.
54, yeah. 54F.
The
14C.
So when I just let my creamer run and then I make it and then it goes in the cooler afterwards, right? I mean, it's definitely been crystallized and run through there, but it's been in there for quite a while. So I am not the go-to guy when you say, well, how long do you do this and how long do you do that, right? It's just been going.
I don't think you can really tell anybody. Like us, it's 3 days in the creamer and 3 days in the cooler. But we're dealing with canola honey.
Right.
Yeah.
If Brad did that, he probably wouldn't get the same result.
It'd be half seed, a week in the creamer, and a week in the cooler.
Yeah.
For my honey, my packer just pulls his hair out.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, the cream pal.
He's my packer just he puts so much seed in my honey and creams it for so long because it doesn't readily granulate. It'll sit in the pails in my honey house in my bee barn at 4 degrees for 6, 8, 10 months and not granulate.
Yeah. I don't use a lot of seed, just enough that it covers the bottom to the first bar on the stirring rack.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of canola.
Let's see. Ours Equipments. They're from Quebec.
If I was going to cream, I should get a great big supply of canola honey and cream that and then just use that for seed.
You'd have a lifetime
into
supply.
My clover. Yeah.
So it does look like they've changed it up. Because it was quite a big machine before, right? This is this is the machine now.
6 feet long.
Even has a table. So
hey, Charlie.
So how many pounds or how many gallons does it do?
It's a continuous feed. It'll do everything. Like it'll do all you can put in it because it's continuous feed.
Yeah, but they got the new one out. It's $5,500.
That's this one, right?
Yeah, that's what
No,
we're discovering.
that's a small one there.
Oh, I thought
that's a big one. That's a big one there.
Oh, they got one smaller than that.
They got one that's tabletop model.
Well,
but you can only hold like 5 pounds of honey in it or something like that.
5 pounds?
Goodness.
Or 5 gallons or something like that. It can do 50 pounds an hour.
But do you still have to do the same thing where you have to take then that 5-gallon pail after you've discharged it and put it in a cooler for a day and then bring it back and do it again?
Yeah, that's what it was explained to me.
Everybody came home from Nobby with a cold.
Yeah, I got a cold.
Everybody.
Brian has a cold?
I guess.
There's
maybe
2 or 3 people in the chat have a cold. Sounds like Mike has a cold. Charlie's got a cold.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't get it till after I left Nobby. I got it last night before I pulled in the driveway.
You were infected when you left Nobby. You didn't get symptoms.
I don't know. I had like a slight scratchy throat, which I thought it came from the air in the room. And
yeah, that's what I was thinking last night. As
I had one of them heater boxes, over the window, and it was blowing air at me, while I was in bed at night. And I'm wondering whether I got crap from them, because I'd get up in the morning, my sinuses are clear. I just had like a slight scratchy throat, not even enough to really suck on a Hall's cough drop or anything like that. And all that. And then when I got home, I got more of a upper sinus, but not that much either. I've drained out well. Yeah, I started feeling the drive home. That's about where I did too. So I did some short videos out there that seemed to work well with not having the camera gear and stuff. I think you all watched them or not. I had one. I found they had the honey bar there. I found Ian's honey there. I did a little screenshot of that or whatever it was on that 3 thing. And then I got talking to somebody, and Brad, I found your honey there.
Yeah.
In the connect, because I missed it because I had 3 minutes and I was trying to get so much done in 3 minutes. And there was this group of people which was hanging right in front of your honey. Is what I found out. That's why I didn't see it.
It was so popular.
Is that, yeah, so I did go back and I tasted, and it does taste good. It's real premium honey, so
I appreciate that.
So anyway, I tasted and everything. So Saturday come along, and it was, I guess, 5 o'clock. Well, the showroom area was closed at 5 o'clock, and then they had the talk stuff, the ending talk, which I didn't go. Yeah, and so we were there, and Tom Stotzman was there, and he said, hey, and the lady, they had all the tables cleared off, and there was tables in the middle of the honey show area, where the tasting area was. And he said, that's my honey over there. And he said, can I get it back? And he said, yeah. She said, yeah, here it is. We were just going to dump everything into a bucket and make, not creamed honey, mead out of it. And I'm looking over there. I says, oh, miss. I said, that's my honey over there. I'm getting ready to go fly back to Canada. Can you give me that jar over there? And everything. Now, Bob, blow me up right now.
All right, hold on. Charlie.
So I got some of my honey that I brought back with me.
Charlie got my jar of honey.
Nice.
And it's about 3, and I would say it's about 3/4 full.
Oh, nice.
At least 3/4 full. And all that. So I even got the seal of the Canadian approval up on top.
That's awesome, Charlie.
I said, yeah, I said, can I get my honey back? I got to catch a flight back to
Thanks for doing that.
Open jars of honey, people coughing over it. Whammo, everyone has colds.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Everybody digging into the honey.
Yeah.
Wonder how many double dippers.
Well, I wondered about that too.
Kids grabbing one.
They're walking by constantly and just refilling those sticks, so nobody has an excuse.
They had sticks.
That doesn't mean people don't do it.
Well, they will, though.
The other side and throw them down. and all that. But yeah, they had. I seen that jar. I said, "Yeah, that's my jar right there. I need to go back to Canada with that." So I finally got some honey in the roundabout way.
Thanks for taking that. I wondered what happened to it.
I tell you, it is good. It's really nice.
No thanks.
And it's definitely different than James's. I don't know what yours is. Yours a yellow clover or something different?
Well, I don't really know because it's just the hayland and the marshland around here.
Well, James has a different taste than yours.
Well, James's will be largely canola honey.
Well, I thought he said he had like yellow clover or something.
Well, I think he did have. Is that what you tasted? But yeah, this is a very eclectic mix of different things because
it's real smooth.
Yeah, there's no field of this or that. It's very much a blend, and it's different every year and every yard is different, but it's always delicious. It's
most delicious.
It's the most delicious
in Manitoba.
Yeah,
and I think somebody said, "Yeah," he said, "I tasted somebody else's over there next door to Brad's, and I like Brad's better."
Well, I won't comment on that.
I ain't saying who it was. I can't remember anyway. But you were talking about that PAL machine. I tasted some honey out or some meat or whatever you call it. Creamed honey out of that. That's about the smoothest stuff I've ever tasted. And I don't get excited about anybody's honey, to be honest with you. I mean, about any type of honey. But they had some maple creamed honey there. Now that was like, man, this is like butterscotch candy, you know. And I was like, give me some more of that. I was so excited about it. I said, "Oh, have you got any of this to sell?" And they had a little teeny jar for $5. I said, "Give me that. You know, I'll take that." So he said, "Put it in the refrigerator, let it chill up." And then he said, "If you like that, here, take this." I said, "What's this?" Like, because there's no labels on it. He said, "Well, this one's cinnamon honey." I said, "See the spots in it, the speckles?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "That's how you tell." I said, "All right." So I brought that home with me. But that flavor, that out of all the flavors I've tasted, I really like that a lot.
With the maple?
Had sugar maple, you know, the maple syrup in it. And it reminded me of like those butterscotch candies you buy. And it had that kind of a texture to it, that flavor. That would be a creamed honey that I could sit there and just eat.
Yeah.
That's how good it was to me.
I remember years ago going to a local fair, and an old beekeeper there, he had ice cream with the maple syrup.
Yeah,
for that too.
Yeah, Mike up here in Vermont. What's his name?
Michael
Palmer. He talks about getting a maple cream. I think he called it a maple creamy, which was maple syrup over top of vanilla ice cream. Now I understand why he liked it so much. How many people can be on the StreamYard? 6 of us.
One more.
Emma,
6.
Farmstead.
Why can't you get any from Bob W? You just go to my website. All my creamed honeys are on there. All my creamed honeys are on the website. I haven't seen you in a while, Steve. I guess I'll have to come up to North Carolina again sometime soon. Bad thing is now I judge everything on, but I'm not going to be at my table that day if I go here.
He's chained to that table now.
I am. It's like a big white ball and ink, ball and chain. That's the that's, it's fun though. We'll keep it fun. I did have, and this was interesting. I don't think I've shared this with everybody on here, but maybe I have. Who knows? I forget. I did have a barbecue caterer that stopped and bought some barbecue sauce for me that they really enjoyed my barbecue. sauce. So I thought that was quite interesting that someone that makes their own sauce and owns a business selling barbecue liked my sauce enough to buy some. So it was flattering.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
John. Hey, John.
Steve said, "Pimp got a pimp," right? I actually saw somebody's jar, and we were joking around about being a honey pimp the other day. And so I saw somebody's jar. Their label at the show did say "honey pimp," honey on it. So that was interesting.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get home, Mike?
2 days.
Really?
Oh, the roads were all ice.
It was snowy up that way, I guess, wasn't it?
I only went about 400 miles, and it took us about 2 hours to go 10 miles at one point. So I was exhausted, and we just got a hotel and tried to get some sleep.
John took 12 hours. I took about 11. Actually, really, I guess you might say about it, but I had, stopped for gas, and I got back, and Robert, who was riding with me, he got his stuff out of my car and put it in his truck, and he left. And then I went and got something to eat because I hadn't eaten for a while. And, since 7:30 that morning, I guess it was. But we left at 10 minutes of 6, and we drove for about an hour and a half, and we stopped at McDonald's. The roads were fine. And you had a little bit of spit and snow, just a little bit, maybe a couple pellets. Got it off that interchange and went down and made a right, like a secondary little side street to go into McDonald's. And that McDonald's park and that road and that parking lot was glazed with ice. And they, around here, man, that they would have the ice, the salt guys out there, as far as the private guys, making sure all that stuff was melted and safe. And so we ate, got back on the road. Everything was fine. Got all the way up to Charleston. And then we make a right to go south on 64 into the mountains to 81. And when we were starting, there's a toll booth plaza there where in between the two different plazas is where the most crooked roads are. And you could see the white in the air. And I said, is that fog or is that snow? Well, it was snow, but it was kind of like in the air, but it wasn't, the roads were just wet. And we got through it all, got on the other side of the next toll plaza and got out of the crooked area. And then we hit one mountain going up the mountain, not a real steep mountain. And it was that they had snowed there quite a bit. And there was a snowplow pushing the slush off to the left. And we went past him and then up, 2 or 3 more miles past that. It was clear and the skies were opening up and being nice.
Hey MJ, how you doing?
Good, guys. How you guys doing? How's my mic, by the way? Is it too loud, too soft?
No, it's good.
Okay,
Perfect.
Almost.
Yeah, Steve Amos said you say it was slick with a 9-car pileup, huh? We were 2 hours ahead of the worst of the weather because Bill came up with his box truck and he hit a bunch of snow that was, 15 miles an hour trying to get up the road.
You sitting out in your apiary, you got your toque on there.
Right? I'm in the office, and our office isn't heated. It's the only room in the house that isn't. I wish I was out in the apiary. The bees were flying good the other day. We got up to like 44, and it was like nice direct sun. And they were flying hard.
And where are you located?
Up in Jersey.
Okay, in Jersey. I gotcha.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but it's back in the 20s again this week.
Yeah, they were flying here yesterday too.
My temperature it swings about 30 degrees. It seems like it's freezing right now, 32 degrees. Or 0°C for my Canadian friends.
Canadians know what 32F is.
Yeah, while we were at Nobby, I think it was 50 degrees here at the house.
Wow.
And it was about like that out there at Nobby for the most time. And then today it was close to 50 and the bees were slightly flying. I went out there and checked food stores on the ones that weren't covered up, and everybody's fine as far as food in the frames. And but for the next 7 days, it's going to be the average high will be 30 to 35 degrees. And I
Our
was talking.
temperature here from last night. Last night it was the daytime high. To today's overnight low will be 43 degrees F difference. It's dropping 43 degrees Fahrenheit in 12 hours.
Damn.
But even
Crazy.
with that temperature change, it's still going to stay below 4C is kind of where your goal is, right? As far as keeping them clustered.
Oh,
It's
the
still,
building?
well, I'm just saying on the outside, it's getting colder, but it's not going to get warmer than, like they're not going to break cluster like during the day, right?
No. No,
So-
well, I mean, even my building, I don't have trouble keeping it cool because there's not very many bees in there.
So
Right.
this is the part of the this is kind of the ongoing saga that we have been talking about for 3 years, right? It's like, where is it easier to keep bees, in Canada or in down south, right? And I think it's always our perception that, oh, it's easier there or it's easier there, like, you know. But over the last 3 years, that where your bees stay dormant, for the lack of a better word, not, torpor stage is what your goal is, to keep them from moving around and consuming a bunch of resources. Mine will go from freezing to, hey, we're out flying trying to collect pollen, and now we're freezing again.
Yeah, no, I think it's much easier here in many ways. The big difference as far as, difficulty goes is I have that point where I need to get them prepared, and by, the middle of October, end of October, that's game over. Like I'm done until April.
Yeah, and
Right?
here I
If I
can.
don't do my job right and I don't get everything done, then there's nothing more I can do.
And now it does afford me a larger margin of error for that, right? I don't
Yeah.
have to have that. If it's
You can fix things,
Yeah,
not
if it's
enough
December,
feed or
to a
whatever.
jar, right?
Yeah.
But
So I'll
yeah,
show you something. You asked about the building. I'll show you this. This is my temperature sensor in there. So you can see this is the last 7 days actually. So it's varied 2 to 3 degrees back on the 7th, 8th, and then it went down to 2. It did drop a little bit January 11th. Then it went up a little bit today. Went up to 4. And these drops are usually caused by the wind blowing through. The wind will blow in the intake, and then it'll cool the building off more than it should. But it's really staying a perfectly reasonable temperature.
All right.
A
So
high of 4 is perfect.
since we have 90 people in here right now, and I imagine some of those are new, I'm going to put you to task on this. So what is the or I guess how did it all come about that 4C is the goal, and what makes that a the standard? Because I know, but there's a lot of people that don't.
That's a really, really good question. And I always think of a graph that I've seen that I can't always come up with very quickly, but the research has shown that 4C is the minimum metabolic rate, right? So that's the minimum amount of feed consumption. Below that temperature, and so that's about 40 F, right? And so below that temperature, the feed consumption starts to go up gradually, but not real fast, right? But above that temperature, the feed consumption goes up dramatically. So you really want to keep them below, 4, 5, 6C. But keeping them colder than that isn't much of a detriment. They don't eat too much more feed that way. Now, that's ambient, though, right? because you put a sensor inside that cluster and it's 26, 29 degrees C in there, which is what is that now? 80?
Around 80, 79.
75 to 80?
Yeah.
So that's ambient. And then so my question always is, well, that's ambient temperature for bees in a wooden box, right? But what I got right now in my building is bees in polystyrene boxes. So now are they not shedding heat? Well, guarantee they're not shedding heat as much as a wooden box.
Yeah, 28C is 82 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah. So my wonderment is always, well, is their metabolic rate going to be elevated because the cool building, the 4 degrees C, is not cooling the cluster as much? I don't know. I need to ask some science people about that.
So, I mean, and I'm trying to rationalize because I always hear and this always perplexes me as far as where I'm located, right? So you always hear, oh, in the winter you get winter bees and they build up their fat bodies and they store that all winter. I'm like, okay, I can bite on that if it's a situation like yours where they're in snow all winter, right? But here, where they're flying all year round and it's 80 degrees on the first week of January, it's like that's hard for me to really follow that train of thought. I like to think of it a little bit differently, is that because it's cold, that they're not, like you're saying, they're not as active, and we've all often said that if they're flying, they're dying, right? So I would like to think that it's kind of like, hey, you get like let's say any kind of truck, you get 100,000 miles, and at 100,000 miles, you know that oil pump's going to go out or the motor's going to die or something like that, right? So it's I like the flight time analysis. Well, you get X number of flight hours as a bee, and then you're just wore out, right? And then it's
if I recall what he's told me in person correctly, Lloyd Harris does always, speak against the whole winter bee concept, and he talks about juvenile hormone and how the production of juvenile hormone is what shortens the life of the bee. And when it comes down to it, I said, Lloyd, I can't see juvenile hormone. I don't know what that looks like. But if it's related to flight, I can see flight.
right.
So I'm going to say that it's flight. When, he'll correct me and say, well, it's not really flight, it's juvenile hormone. Yes, but I can't see the juvenile hormone, and they're related. So if there's no flight, then there's less or no, production of juvenile hormone that's going to kill the bee. So yeah, effectively that's where the rubber meets the road, in my opinion, is if they're not flying, then they're just hanging out, and they're going to live a lot longer if they're not flying. So that midwinter flight, that late fall flight, isn't necessarily a good thing, because they don't have to poop. They can sit, if they're on sugar syrup, they sit in there for 5 months easy. So they don't really need that extra little poop, and they're not all going to poop in one day anyway.
Right.
My apiary did that time that they came out last week.
Yeah, it seems like it, doesn't it?
They were clustered up for, I'd say, from like November and December. Didn't come out one day, and then they came out. There was bee crap all over our acre. Every car was covered. The deck was covered. House was covered.
And granted, it seems that way too, but it's they don't typically the whole colony poop in one day.
Yeah.
But they certainly have at it when there's a warm day. I know when I take my bees out of the building in the spring, and I'll take 100 150 colonies out of the building and put them all in the yard. Man, you better stand back. Holy smokes. They just go, finally, and they all leave.
Could you imagine if you were a bee, that feeling of, man,
Yeah.
I've been able to poop for
I've
weeks, and
pooped in
all of a
5
sudden you get that amazing one. You're like, man, that's so satisfying.
Oh, and they do. They do. Yeah. So this is new for me, these bees outdoors. So that's a little different situation. They're kind of buried in the snow.
The snow
So
insulates.
yeah, that's a good thing. I hope it keeps snowing there and covers them up more. Now it'll be a little bit lower now because we've had some warm days, but covered in snow is good. And I have some at home here in my yard that aren't covered in snow, but they're just insulated. So I have to see kind of what the differences are.
I would think the biggest issue that you could possibly have, and obviously I don't get snow, guys. I get it once every 10 to 15 years. I'll get snow. But it's would be when the snow starts to melt off and the moisture, right? That's where the concern
No,
would be for me.
not really. I mean, so all my hives here, right? We're gonna be into like the low 20s next week. I don't insulate. I don't feed. We had snow up until a week ago, and then we went into like a 40-degree week, and it all melted off. What I do is I make my bottom boards, and I drill a couple of holes about 3/16 of an inch. Yeah, weep holes in all 4 corners, and I've rarely had moisture problems.
Yeah.
It could just be where I'm at. I don't know, but it really doesn't make too much of a difference. I try to level everything out too as best as possible, so it's not like one just getting dumped on and going like straight in the entrance. But knock on wood, we've been pretty
These
okay.
are all just tipped forward just a little, so any moisture is going to
Just
run out
runs
the
out.
door. So and the most important thing, in my opinion, is so that when you do get that melting, or even in the spring you get a rain, it's not going to go in, right? It will hit the landing board and go out instead of in. But under there, like if you dug down in the snow here down to the entrance, it's all clean. It's all clear. There's a little igloo under there where the entrance is.
Yeah.
Because the heat comes out there, and it'll likely be melted to the ground, to be honest. I should do a video on that. I should go out there and dig down in one of them and show you. And so I don't anticipate any issues there at all.
I've got a plastic lid, that feeder lid. You've probably seen it in some of the videos, that sits on top and it's got a cap in it. And you can just pour the feed right into the lid and turn it off. And when it's empty, if you leave that on there, it will literally fill up with water from the condensation from the temperature of the colony coming up and the cold air on the outside. It'll fill up. So you got to dump it. Or I guess you could leave it on there. The bees would drink it if they needed liquid around here, but it's they definitely do create some condensation.
Now, where you're at, Bob, do you guys do your bees run a brood nest in the wintertime?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was out there a little while ago, or not today, but like a week ago.
Okay.
There frames of eggs in there. So most people down here tried. If you listen to the certified master beekeepers in the area, they try to do their splits around Valentine's Day. So nice. I personally have tried Valentine's Day before, and what I usually end up with either new dead queens or dead splits, because we'll get another cold spell and then they'll end up dying. So I try to wait a little bit longer for mine. Until I start seeing some drones. And then once I start seeing the drones, then I feel like I'm okay to make a split.
I feel like in my area, I don't see drones until about by like April 15th or so. Like mid-April is when I have good drones flying.
Well, you guys get the, I mean, you're probably similar to Charlie, right? You're near Charlie. You're in between Charlie and Big Mike there.
Charlie's in Maryland, right?
Yeah.
So I'm way north of Jersey. I'm like basically New York border, Pennsylvania border, that corner.
Okay.
You're up at the top end of New Jersey.
Yep. I'm in the armpit.
That's where the wind blows.
We don't split till the beginning of May.
Yeah, the wind is fierce.
That's because it stinks so much in New Jersey to keep the smell out. Call all the chemical companies.
That's it.
Is
I think that goes towards the city more.
But do you guys get one hard flow, or do you get multiple flows?
So we'll usually I'm able to pull off my good colonies end of June, and then if I have a really good colony and the goldenrod is picked up, usually I could pull maybe a little bit of the goldenrod flow in September.
Okay.
But then up where I'm at, I think this year, the last time I was in the hives was like September 25th, and I didn't touch them like since then.
So what I typically do is I pull my honey in the last week of June, first week in July. I try to have it off by July 4th.
Yeah.
And then that's it until the spring. Now in the spring, like next month or beginning, next month and a half, I'll go back through. And as I'm going through, if there's capped honey, I'll pull it out to make room for her to lay and let them go. But, it's hit or miss depending on the weather.
Okay.
And everybody,
what kind of trees do you have down there that start early?
Red maples will start.
Maples. When do they start for you? I think March 10th is when they're starting to bloom for us.
They could be. I've had people in the chat that are north of me that I don't have any red maples in my yard. But there's been people just slightly north of me that said they were already getting buds on theirs. So it won't be
several people that the red maples were already budding down south. I don't know.
Yeah, they usually get buds like by the first week of January, if by May, but they're not really blooming until the first week of March. But I have a big one. Like it's I can't even wrap my arms around it. It's so big. I'm gonna put some taps in there and try to get some syrup this year.
When I get when my privet tree starts to bloom, that's where a lot of my honey comes from in my own yard. I think the privet, Japanese privet, and it will. It looks like it's snowing in my yard because when the bees work the tiny little flowers, they knock the bloom petals off, and it's just constant stream of little white flowers.
That's pretty. You got to get some video of that. Put some shorts up.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to do a few more shorts on the channel. Live streams are great, but they don't grow your channel at all. Not at all.
So I went not semi-viral. I went viral in November. So from November 20th until about December 12th, we pulled in 24 million short views. Not for my niche, not at all, not for farming or anything. We put up I was driving in the snow and I put up a video of that, and then I was driving on the highway 7 years ago, and I drove past like a big truck that was on fire, and I put it over the Indian Christmas music song Soundbite, and we went mega viral. It was a nice paycheck, I'll tell you what.
I don't get nice paychecks. I'm lucky if I get a paycheck from YouTube. There's people like Steve that do super chats. If it wasn't for them, it'd be months between.
Yeah. Usually I'm averaging with the views that we get and like any supers or memberships. I usually get on a good month 100, on like a really good month 200. But like this month, I think I'm up to like $20. So I probably won't get paid out this month. Yeah,
it's definitely the beekeeping niche is hit or miss on YouTube as far as this. I mean, we get a lot of people, and I appreciate all of them that come to watch. We got 90 watching right now, but it just doesn't translate into new subs, right? It's hard for things to start picking up a lot of extra subs unless the people in the chat share it out and say, hey, this is pretty interesting or something like that. It just, I need to put out more regular videos, I guess, to build the channel up.
I'm wondering whether the beekeeping fad is starting to slow down.
I could just do like some of these other people and put a little bit of video that says, this is how I made $600,000 in beekeeping.
Don't do that. Don't. That's against YouTube's policies. If you claim any amount of money can be made the way you did it, YouTube has been banning people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I see it all the time, right? This is how I make it. I was able to quit my job.
Do you want to make $1,000 extra every weekend? Well, all you have to do is slobber honey on yourself and let bees sting you.
Yeah. And that's kind of
I see ads on YouTube to say that all the time.
Oh yeah,
all the time.
All the time.
I sell Tide Pods on Amazon, and I make $1 million a week.
Yeah.
Uncle
Gross.
Junior 67. You asked, do I add extra emergency feed? No, I do not. So most of my boxes, I'm trying to look. This is all reversed. So most of my boxes I run are double deeps. If they're light, like you see that one right there with the blue top, that one was a little bit light, so I left the honey super on for them. And I usually aim to have about 70 or 80 pounds per colony to make it through winter. Just I'm not sure if you're still here, but just to answer your question.
Yeah, the
or it'd be like, what was it, Bob? Like the guy down there, and he had so many 1,000 pounds of honey, and he only had 20 hives.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. That guy there, and he had one. And I found out he had a video later on where he was crying the blues because of government contract cutouts, from Trump administration, where he was supplying honey to the schools or something like that, and he was buying it in for sure.
Well, yeah, and in that situation, we all know that as beekeepers what the deal is, right? But in that situation, he got in with Upwork, which is a big YouTube type community that shows people how they can be successful in maybe off the wall type businesses. And let's face it, beekeeping is a little bit off the wall for most people. But so he was on that show, but his YouTube channel doesn't really have that many following him, because all of the beekeepers know if you've got X number of hives, there's no way you can do that much money without buying honey. And I buy honey, so I'm not talking crap about people that buy honey, but I'm also not saying I built a business that does 600,000 or whatever it is a year either. At this point, that's next year.
$45 a day, Bob. Claim it.
Yeah. Hey, this is how I made $45 today.
Do you want to make $45 a day? Well, this is what I do.
Yeah, that parody video. I should get all dressed up. I should get all dressed up. Do you want to make $45 today? Let me show you how. Come with me.
I just sit in my front yard and I make $45 a day.
Make a parody video like that. And put like a big disclaimer, like this is not financial advice. This is for fun.
Yeah, this is for fun only. This is it is actual figures and numbers. Today I sat in my yard for 9 hours and I made $45.
You got $5 an hour to sit there, Bob.
$5 an hour.
I worked this market for my mentor this year, and my mentor's got he runs about 500 colonies. It was the German Christmas market, I think, at our fairgrounds in Sussex County. Each day, I think he pulled like $3,000. It was incredible. He sold out of honey, and I think we went there with like 600 pounds or more. It was like insane. Brought pollen. His wife makes all these like bee bombs and things like that with like the wax and different oils, and it was phenomenal. I think the booth cost $900, but worth every penny.
Well, if the first day pays it all, it'd be my luck. I'd pay $900 and I would sell $300 a day, and
45 a day.
45 a day, right? At a show, I would probably do a little bit better, but I mean it's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
In rural South Carolina,
I did $60 today, and I didn't have to sit around nowhere.
Brad did more than me from his front yard today.
Yeah, what did I do? 120
165 or something.
I got to buy some honey because I'm out of honey this year.
That's the thing. I mean, I contacted them. The people I buy my honey from it's the same price whether they ship it to you, whether you come pick it up. If you buy 6 buckets, they'll give you $5 off a bucket. So $30 on 6 buckets. It's like I'll buy one every day.
Yeah.
Ship it to me because it's not costing me any different, right?
50 pound buckets.
60. They're
65 gallon. Oh, that's 60 pounds.
So it's.
I'm gonna say goodnight, everyone. I'm gonna go get some sleep.
Good night, Mike.
Yeah.
This
All right,
Take
Mike.
care of that cold, Mike.
buddy.
Good
Yeah,
night.
you guys take care.
We got
All right.
another 24 minutes or so. But yeah, that's kind of the thing is trying to grow it. But if you're buying honey, you got to sell more to make the profit. So $45 will not cut that.
No.
Cut it that way. But it's all good. I didn't go nowhere, didn't do anything, just sat here.
That's always fun. Doom
Yeah,
scroll, right?
Yeah. I could have done some things. I could have. I just didn't. I could have, right? I could have went and got a bucket of paint and been painting beehives or something. It's just
You could go get some real paint and pretend you're Bob Ross while you're sitting in the front yard.
Look at the pretty little bees.
And we'll put this little bee right here. This little bee lives in this beehive right over here. Happy little beehive.
Gary said, we have a local Shop and Save grocery store. They have a big sign saying local honey. And I read the label and it comes from North Carolina. I'm not sure North Carolina is local to West Virginia as far as honey. Probably not. You are probably correct. They were probably
that. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see it. Hold on. I'm going to pop this. I'll send this to Discord and get it up on the computer. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
I'll show you guys what my neighbor did for us when we moved here. If I can find out how to work this stupid phone.
So DC decided to get the Max 21 instead of the 18.
Who sells the Max 21?
That's a Hilco Max. Yeah, local honey is a vague term, for sure. For sure.
Well, don't they say local is just local flora, correct?
Yeah, it changes depending. Some people say it's within a certain number of miles from your area.
So technically, right, like local for me would be anywhere like North Jersey all the way almost out to Michigan, because we have all the same nectar sources.
I think that the legal aspect of it's about 100 miles, is it? 150 miles?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, the actual legal definition of local.
Is there a legal definition to it?
Yeah, there's a governmental thing down here.
Well,
as long as it's within a certain mile range, they consider that legal or local.
My
like guys, I'd rather have something that I know it's like you say within the same nectar sources and stuff like that too.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I buy mine from a bigger supplier, and do I know 100% that honey is from here? No, I don't. And the people I buy it from are from here, but beyond that, I don't know.
So our neighbor painted this like we moved in, and then the next spring we got bees. That was 4 years ago now. But she's like, oh, I researched all the colors and like the different color spectrums that bees see in, right? And she painted up this hive. All four sides are like immaculate like this.
Cool.
And I honestly swear that these bees, being that they see that color spectrum, they make more honey and they draw better wax. I swear to God. It's the only hive that does the best and always does year after year.
I noticed that for me, I've got multiple different colors. I've got natural ones like you do as well. For me, it's more about the location that they sit in.
Yeah.
Because all of my hive stands are the same, but I noticed that certain areas on the hive stands always do good and certain areas always do bad. Even if it's a brand new nuke, it could be that, hey, the shade from my house is keeping them shaded too long, or keeping them cooler, or they don't get out as early as the other ones. Who knows?
I see that in my yards, Bob, and it's called drift.
Is it?
When I have, like, for example, you see Charlie's hives are all in a row. Quite often I have all my hives in a row. And this one yard that I have, it's about 3 or 4 miles away. It's along the edge of a hay field, so I don't want to stretch out too much. So they're all in a row down the edge of that hay field. And every single year, the one end of that row has more honey than the other end. Every year. It's totally consistent.
And
So
then
they come back. I think they come back from where they're foraging, and they get tired, and they go, "I'm just going to stop here. I can't make it all the way home."
Move like 2 or 3 more colonies over there as a test, and put them like lined up with each other, and see if it makes a difference with those ones.
How do you mean?
So like basically, if you have like your line here, right,
Yeah.
and this one over here is getting all the honey, take
Yeah.
like 2 from this end and bring them over that way, and see if you get more honey on those 2 hives as like a control and a test.
Well, yeah, I have done that in other yards to equalize bees, but there's different bees go there every year. It's not the hive. It's not the colony. I move bees to that yard every season, so it's a different hive every year, and it's absolutely consistent every year.
Huh.
That the one end will have taller colonies, taller honey stacks than the other end.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
What do you usually average pounds per colony when you're pulling honey?
100, 120.
Wow. That's
which
awesome.
is a crop failure in my part of the world.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're not making 200 pounds, you're not doing it right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doug, what do you make? About 250, don't you? And 300 on a good day.
250, 300 is pretty normal.
Now, you guys leave in anything for the bees as well, or no? You pull and then throw feed on.
You can't leave them, honey. You'll die.
Okay.
They're canola honey. It'll what's it?
Oh, crystallizes quick.
Well, that is a function of property of canola honey, but the winter's so long that they don't winter well on honey.
Okay.
They winter on sucrose.
Gotcha.
It's pure. It has no solids.
We make sure we pull everything once the canola is done.
Okay.
That's why we run, these are singles. We run single deep. So when you pull the honey in the fall, there's really not a lot in the brood chamber.
They just cluster down real tight.
Yeah, and then you can start to feed them.
Okay.
So, whatever they're going to pack in the brood chamber is going to be 90% sucrose.
Nice. Is that expensive feeding them that way?
Oh yeah.
It depends on how you do it. I mix sugar because I don't have as many bees as somebody like Doug might have. I mix from granulated sugar, and it costs me, I'm going to say $30 a colony.
That's not terrible.
So it's not that bad.
A couple of jars of honey sold to make it back.
Well, again, I may make twice as much honey as you, but it sells for half as much.
What do you guys get per pound? Because I'm lucky enough where I could sell it for $15 a pound here.
Yeah, my honey revenue is $4.
Okay.
But all of my other costs are above that: jar, label, packing, all that kind of stuff. So the honey itself fetches me $4, and that's twice as much as a commercial.
Yeah, because commercial guys, if they're doing wholesale, it's like I think it's even lower than $2 a pound.
Yeah,
now.
It could be 2 or less. Yeah.
Well, Doug, you sell yours in bulk like that to somebody?
In the barrel this year, it was $1.21 a pound. But there'll be a final payment. There'll be a final payment on that, but it won't make $2 a pound.
Yeah.
And
I have the luxury to do that because a small enough operation that, and I don't make very much money, but small enough operation that I can move that much myself.
Nice.
To my stores and my customers.
How many colonies you run, Brad?
A lot less now. I topped out about 175 3 years ago or so, but I've scaled back now. Okay. I think I have, what did I say? I have about 75 in the winter now.
75.
So.
But Brad's got I I would like that. I say I would like to have it. I've never had it, so I might be just bullshitting right now. But you know, it's hard to say that you would like something until you've actually done it, right?
Yeah,
but
careful what you wish for.
Yeah, so you know, Brad's in some chain stores up where he's at, so he's got a very different type of model.
A lot of independent grocers and one national. I don't sell nationally, but it's a national chain. I just sell in a few local branches of that chain.
Does it hurt when you sell it to them for one price and see them up price like crazy in there?
No, actually, it hurts when they don't raise it enough. I get upset when I go in and somebody's honey price is higher than mine, because I want to be the most expensive honey in the store.
Yeah.
So I've learned that they don't take as much margin as I thought they would. So I've just crept the price up over the last few years and try to stay among the higher priced honeys or a little higher. Because Charlie can, he can say now, right, why I say this. My customers don't buy my honey for the price, right? Yep. And so, being that he's tasted the honey, you can see why I can position that as a different kind of a product.
Well, that does a couple different things for you. First, it maximizes the amount of money you're getting per pound. And secondly, it also kind of regulates how much you're selling. If you're the cheapest one, you're going to sell a ton of honey, but you don't make a ton of honey, right? So you're
kind of. But as soon as somebody walks up with a honey that's cheaper, you lose all your customers because there's no loyalty in price at all.
No.
Right.
My customers are loyal to my product, and I appreciate that. I don't squeeze them. I don't make much money. I try to balance, value with staying in business. But if you're the cheap honey, then somebody walks in with a cheaper honey, boy, and you're out of business.
Yeah, I'll message the local beekeepers because they try to sell on Facebook Marketplace around by me, and everyone's going rate is between like some people are $12 a pound, but like their jars like plastic crap, you get it for 50 cents for the bears or something. My jars are these. I make my own labels. Why is the green screen being weird?
Yeah, put it in front of your face. There you go.
There we go. Yeah, so I make my own labels for it. This is actually black locust right here. It's actually darkened up a bit. Looks a lot lighter in person here.
That's a little bit like my smaller jar. What's that, a pound, pound and a half?
Yeah, it's a 1 pound jar. And then this is from our goldenrod stuff. So this
Where
is
are you getting your
season
jars from?
I'm actually using Webster. I think I got my jar pricing down to about like $1.08 shipped, something like that, with the caps. Because it's so stupid. I ordered 8 cases, so it's like 96 jars, right? And you order 100 pack of lids. There's never an even way to get 100 jars because they're in 12.
It's the old hot dog and bun philosophy, right?
Yeah.
But I figure after I order 20 hot dogs. If I order 2,500 lids, eventually I'll have a free 100 if I just keep saving them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. For me, I was doing glass jars and everything, but nobody here supplies them, right? So it was killing me in the shipping. Even plastic jars can kill me in the shipping.
Look up Webster. They're online. They're awesome to work with. I've had them send broken jars once. They immediately, like next day, sent out a new shipment.
But don't they charge you a annual fee or something to be a member?
No. Webster is just order and they send it. I order from them I think we got like 240 jars from them this year or something like that.
The last time I ordered like 3 pound jars, I bought 2 cases. That's what, Charlie, in the 121 per case on those?
Yeah, something like that.
125, so 250. But it's $100 a case, but the shipping was $130 for 2 cases.
Ooh, that's
so it 33% increase on the price, right?
Yeah. Let me show you the other jars we used to use.
Now, how much honey did you produce this year? Oh, you didn't have your head soda.
What was that? How much did I produce this year?
Produce?
Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys remember, but last winter we went in with 14 colonies, came out with 8, and I was projecting around like 35 pounds each. I think we pulled 30 pounds off of them. So we came out with like 240 pounds. And then we went from 8 colonies up to 26 this year. I had a couple just like randomly collapse. So we're down to 20 and 20 live colonies. I'm hoping if the numbers hold true, 57% survival rate is what we had last year. I'm looking around like 12 colonies from the 21 that I went in winter with.
That's
I'm on my second yard too.
But how much honey did you produce?
240 pounds off 8 colonies. So these are the hexagonals that we got. And we've gotten them with these the gold lids and the black lids.
I've got those look like what, half-pound jars, or are they bigger than that?
No, these are 16-ounce honey jars.
That's
and
30
these are
pounds.
Amazon. They come out to like $2.75 a jar. It's expensive. It's stupid. I was charging, when I was selling a pound in this, I was charging $18. But it came with like the bee pendant and a little hemp rope and like a honey dipper as well.
Right.
So like it was the packaging, so it was like, people that wanted to gift honey and like make it look nice. But it was hard to figure out label sizes with this because I cut my own labels. My wife's got the Cricut, I think it's called, the design or whatever, the thing that like has the cutting wheel and you could make stickers and vinyl cutouts. So I would design our stickers on Canva, print them onto like the sticker paper, and then the machine would cut them. But finding all the right sizes and like it was crazy.
Yeah, that's the I like the jars. I mean, I made a little over 1,000 pounds this year, and
Nice.
I burnt. That's all gone. And now I'm what, 400 and I'll be, when these other buckets come, I'll be at 600 pounds over
Awesome.
what I produce. So it's for me, it's storage and getting the price right, trying to get the price to keep the price down, right?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in the ordering more frequently to keep the expense at a minimum as I order, which isn't always the case because sometimes you can get better prices by ordering more. But
Yeah,
you got
it all depends.
to do that, right?
Yeah.
So
You ever think about ordering a 50-gallon drum?
I have no way
Don't
to
tell him to do that.
I have no way to handle it. But I have thought about it. Yes, I've actually gotten prices on it, and it would save me, or I could profit an extra $450 over the entire drum over buying it individually. But
How much is a used forklift?
I have no way to put the forklift in the building.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And then even if I could get it off of the truck and I had the 55-gallon drum dolly, what if it crystallizes in there? I don't have a pump to pump it out.
Yeah.
How do you tap it, lay it down, and then drain it, gravity drain it where you can get everything out of it? Do I lose $450 worth of honey stuck in the barrel that I can't get out, or do I have to cut it down and strain it again? So there's a bunch of different issues. But yes, maybe one day I'll get big enough to where I could do that. Charlie's buddy Lloyd up there, he's got how many tanks, Charlie? Like 4 or 5 250-pound tanks.
Yeah, at least.
And he he pumps it up into the tanks, and then he's got one of them. I call it the same thing that Robert has, those little piston fillers that draws back and then pumps it in the jars.
And then he's
auto
got
drawing?
bee blanket, to heat the drum up, and he does have a forklift that can pick up a drum.
Yeah, and he's got a hive lifter or a Hummerbee, right?
Got a Hummerbee.
So, but he's in all the grocery stores as well, right? Up there, or in a lot of shops or something.
Yeah, he's got different retail stores that he supplies.
He's like a miniature Bob Binney in that aspect up there.
Yeah. Yep.
24 cases, what I got for $9.99. You got 24 cases at $9.99. I bought I found pint mason jars at Ollie's for $8.99 for 12. $8.99 for 12 pints.
The pint holds more than a pound.
Yeah, so I sell 1 pound, pound and a half, and 3 pound jars.
Oh, you do 1.5s?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice.
And when they drive out here, most people buy either a pound and a half or a 3 pounder. I do sell 1 pounders, but you know, that's like local people that are by here all the time, and they're like, "Hey, I just need a pound. I'll be back next week and buy another pound."
Yeah.
And next week after that, buy another pound.
I have somebody that buys 4 pounds, 3 or 4 pounds a month for their dog.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
The dog has allergies, and they give it to the dog. And I'm like, "Are you eating any of this?" No, just for the dog.
I had a lady buy a couple hundred pounds of, or a couple hundred, it was probably like 10 or 12 pounds, and she uses on her horses for wounds on their legs and stuff.
Nice.
That's fantastic for that. Absolutely fantastic.
Let's see. 4 hives, 320 pounds in Vermont.
Oh, that's great. I mean, if I pulled all my extra honey, because every one of my colonies has about like 80 pounds in it. So I could have pulled an additional 80 times 8. I could have pulled an extra 640 pounds, but I leave that for the bees. If there's extra come like end March, I'll pull those supers, and I will spin it. So I'll get like a little bit of an early harvest from what's left over. And at least in this yard, I can't speak on my other yard, which is about 5 miles straight line as the crow flies, maybe more, maybe 6 miles. But here we have a high fructose versus, or is it the glucose is crystallizing faster? Ours stays liquid for a long time here. I think it's higher fructose, right? The higher glucose crystallizes faster, whatever, or whatever it is. Yeah. We have the one that doesn't crystallize as quickly.
Fructose.
Yeah. And so I'm able to pull it. It doesn't crystallize over winter, which is super nice. I haven't had to sit there yet and pluck out each cell and clean them up.
That's similar to what I do in the spring. I'll pull off the excess that's in there and spin it out.
So do you ever winter on sucrose then?
Never. I'm one of those beekeepers that's against feeding. I feel like at least where I am, I'm able to winter as long as I leave enough honey for the bees. Mm-hmm. And I want bees that are going to cluster down. I want bees that are not going to rely on outside feed sources. Mm-hmm. And basically, as natural as I can, I still treat them with oxalic acid vapor if they need it. But as far as overwintering, I want the best genetics going through winter. I want them to know how to cluster, know how to eat their own food, store enough food, and then if I can determine like how much each colony really needs to make it through winter, that just helps me become a better beekeeper.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I take a little bit of a hit, because I'm not pulling as much honey. I could probably pull a little bit more than I do. I just always pull on the lesser end. But my goal by 2027, I want to go into 2027 winter with 100 colonies.
Yeah.
I think I could do it.
That's
Yeah, we're a little different here with winter being so long. When I first started talking to a lot of the beekeepers down south, they're always catching swarms and things in the summer. I'm thinking, geez, how do they do that? Well, they have these things called feral colonies that live in the wild normally. Well, we don't have any of those.
There's nothing that makes it over winter there, right? I guess because if all the honey's crystallized and they can't make it on that, honey source. The winter's
just too long.
Yeah.
The winter's just too long. They can't do it. And so, that kind of speaks to the different things that we need to do. And the foremost research done on winter feed was done here. And it absolutely clearly, without a shadow of a doubt, showed that sucrose was absolutely the best feed here for winter because of the length of winter, no cleansing flights for 5 months, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's tough on the bees, and you gotta.
So it's very unnatural for the bees to be here. So that's the only way we can do it.
Only thing that works for them. But hey, if you do what works, that's what works, right?
Well, it works the best.
Yeah.
If you leave them some light honey, like some clover or something like that, they can survive, but not nearly as good a survival as sucrose. Sucrose is the best.
Now, there's
as far
no
as survival
chance
goes.
of freezing inside of there.
No, it's
Like if it gets real cold.
It's 28C inside that hive.
Yeah, I guess they'll just cluster around it and stay on that feeder.
Charlie gonna go? You're muted, Charlie. I see your hands waving.
Still mute?
Yeah, no, they don't have trouble. Well, I should say they don't have trouble. They can get off, eat the feed in the center and then get off to one side and then can't get back to eat the feed on the other side. That does happen.
Okay. Now, how do you have your the sucralose feeder? You have like the frame feeders in there with them?
No, we don't feed past October.
So you slap feed on there and then they pack it and store it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's within the cells.
2 to 1, and they'll pack that in there, fill up 10 frames, right full of feed, and again, this science studies showed that they'll use 63 pounds of feed over the winter. So we try to make sure that box weighs north of 90 pounds.
Nice.
By winter, and sometimes it's tough because, I feed with a 2.5 gallon inverted pail over the hive, and I start feeding about Labor Day, and I'll put that first pail on, and like 5 days it's empty, and then I'll think I got lots of time.
16 pounds right there, just like gone.
Yeah, it's gone, and then I'll put the second one on, and it'll be on there for a month.
Wow.
Right, because they slow down taking the feed. They got nowhere to put it, and the weather's getting cooler, so they can't cure it.
So now
do
your bees do swarm those, correct? In the summertime?
Yeah.
Now, do they ever wind up in people's homes? Because what I actually found is a very niche market this year is doing extractions. So I've got a background in construction.
Oh yeah.
I was charging $100 an hour, $120 an hour when I had a helper with me, and I was going to get free colonies.
People around here expect you to collect bees for nothing. That's kind of the culture.
I tell them, I'll be like, look, like I come in, I set up all the tarps and everything. I tarp off. I usually have to extract from interior because they're under the rafters or something, and they move inward to the building. I'm like, I stand behind my work. If I miss the queen, they start rebuilding. I come back and take care of it free of charge.
Yeah.
And I tell them, like, you can get someone.
If there's a colony that takes up, outside of a managed hive kind of thing, very, very poor chance of making it.
But they won't find a wall like someone in somebody's house?
Well, best case, if they can find something that's like that, they might, but it's very rare.
The problem of it is, remember, he lives in Manitoba. Your best place to find a house to go to.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, guys, I got a book, so I'll talk to you later.
Good night, Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie.
Yep.
What are we seeing?
This is.
I don't ever know about.
That's a swarm of bees right there. Goes on a fence post.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do some removals.
We'll get swarms, but I've never ever heard of one going into a house. It'd be outbuildings or on a tree.
Yeah.
I've never heard of one at all.
I pulled out a probably 5-foot piece of comb from somebody's wall. It was in the wall, and they came in right near like a chimney, and they made their way. And the lady's like, "Oh, I noticed it the other year," and then like something happened, and she needed chimney work done, so she had the guy come out, and he's like, "You got swarms of bees coming in and out." I'm like, "You didn't spray them, right?" She goes, "No, I didn't let them." So she called me up, and she actually called the pest control guy. Basically I work with. He basically calls me up whenever he has honeybees in people's houses, and then I call him up if I have people calling me with wasps. So it's a nice even trade. He gives me business, I give him business. I think I got eight extractions this year. I was able to make $5 extra grand on the side as a little side hustle.
Nice.
Doing that. So that wasn't too bad.
I just don't have time for it. One guy running this whole thing, I just don't have time for it.
Yeah. With 175 colonies, do you have like a schedule of like how many you'll check per day, or like what's your schedule look like for how many colonies you try to get to a week?
I work as long as I could stand it. And depending on what needs to be done, right? If I bring them out in the spring and they all need to be fed, then it's kind of like go time, right? You work at that as hard as you can and get them done, one day or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But and maybe there's out yards involved. Maybe I'm going to work the home yard today and the out yard tomorrow or something like that. So really depends on what's going on.
Well, we're so compressed, you don't have time to do any of that.
Yeah, you don't have time to think.
We come out of spring, the honey supers go on.
That's just go.
And 5 supers to check a hive.
Yeah, we can start splitting, mid to late May, and then honey season starts the 1st of July, and then that's it. So we get 6 weeks to really work bees, and then the rest is honey, and then after the honey goes off, then it's fall prep. So 6 weeks of beekeeping.
Yeah. And then just hustle.
So from the time you bring them out of the building to the time that it's go time for to start stacking supers on, I mean, about how long is that, do you think?
Well, if I can bring them out early April, 1st April, say, it'll be nearly July. Like it'll be solstice or maybe, around there before I put honey supers on. So it'll be 3 months.
Last week of June is about when we start putting supers on.
So when I'm harvesting, you guys are starting to stack boxes.
Yeah, and it varies. Like I can get a pretty good little early June flow if the clover comes out early. But sometimes nothing. Sometimes nothing until almost July. And then, you're standing there thinking, gee, there's no flow. Gee, there's no flow. Oh, look, they're swarming. It's like one day and all the honey supers are full, or all the brood chambers are packed and they're starting to swarm. It's just crazy how fast it happens.
But you've put on a box and had it filled up in a couple days, though, right? I mean, they'll fill it up that quick.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've learned. I've gotten behind. Even now, I get behind at honey flow, and I've learned that a lot of times there's no such thing as putting a box on. It's putting 2 on, like 2 deeps, honey supers on, and my flow is pretty slow compared to a lot of, when Ian goes to put supers on, he'll be putting 4 on at a time.
Wow.
Doug, how do you guys?
90% of our flow is in 2 week time and period, probably.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you put 2 or more supers on at a time when you go out too?
Sometimes up to 5.
You get 200 pounds of honey in 2 weeks.
That's crazy. Well, that's crazy.
And you got it because you can't, in a larger operation, you can't do it all and then get around to another box before all those boxes are full.
Do you guys run mediums or deeps for your supers?
Deeps.
Yeah, pack them heavy, right?
Medium supers are, I notice, a whole lot less common in Canada than they are in the States.
Huh. Okay.
And I don't know if it is, but I'm guessing that it has to do with the richness of the flow. Because if you're using a medium and you have a smaller flow, they're more likely to kind of fill it up and cap it than if you're trying to use a deep. And here the flow is faster and heavier, that we can fill the deeps pretty easily.
A lot of it is that everybody here pretty well commercial. A few sideliners and not a lot of hobbyers. Not like down where you guys are.
I mean, there's really mostly hobby guys that are in my area, and they're not trying to get commercial. They're content with like 10 hives, but then they come in and they flood the market with like cheap honey, and it might be tainted honey or adulterated honey. Mm-hmm. And then it makes it hard for someone who's like very, very purist with my honey to like sell good honey. You know, I tell people, I'm like, if you want to get it cheaper, that's fine. I'm like, but go buy one of theirs, buy one of mine. I've had people buy honey from my competition at a farmer's market right across from me. And I'm always friendly with them. They secretly hate me, I always say. But I've had people buy their honey. I'm like, they come to my booth. I'm like, because we sell eggs, we sell everything else. Like, you know, because we raise chickens, ducks, quail, rabbits, goats. We do soaps, lip balms, all that stuff. But I'm like, just try my honey. I'm like, I don't care if you buy it. No obligation to buy. Just try. I'm like, I want you to just see the different honey. I'm like, they might have a yard somewhere else. My yard might be further away or has a different nectar source. They try it and they go, well, that was an easy sale. Let me get 2 of those also.
It's I've got other competitors as far as honey here, and they do. I mean, you're right. They put it on Facebook Marketplace cheaper than me, and you know. But guess what? They're going to sell out in a month, and then they're not going to have any. And the only place they can come is to me at that point, and
they just give it away.
Yeah, they give it away.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of customers, they don't want to deal with a honey person that doesn't have honey sometimes, right? They want the honey person that has honey when they want it. That's what I think.
Right. They know they can go there and get it every time, right?
Like a lot of people are, my neighbor has 2 hives, so that's where I get my honey. But I can't buy honey from them in March because they don't have any, right? But they'll still do it. They'll still buy all the honey they have in the fall. And so there's exceptions, but I'm just saying that I think most customers like to have a consistent supply of honey that they like.
Yeah, my friends that I have my second yard on, they're always buying our honey. I swear to God, my buddy goes through a pound a week just himself. I'm like, what are you doing, drinking it?
I got a guy that comes here and he buys $100 or $120 worth of honey every time he comes. Right, 4 or 5 of the big containers, and then he puts it in his office because he owns a plumbing company. He says he puts it in everything, and then the other day one of his guys showed up. And he's like, hey, I guess I've been using too much honey at the office because his buddy made him come down and buy one. So he stopped at the table. And I said, well, Paul usually buys this one. He says, okay, give me one of those, right? Because he was like, hey, I'm buying $120 worth of honey, and you guys are using it all. Go get me some honey, you know? So
do you pay rent on your second yard?
No. So what I do is I give them, since they're friends of ours, on the first 5 colonies we have there, we give them a 10% of the honey crop that we take. Any hives that I have above 5 will be a 5% free honey to them. And if they would like to, if part of our contract is like it's pollination services because they have very big gardens there. So I'm not charging them pollination. They're not charging me rent. If they want, they have the right to buy out at least half the honey crop at wholesale rates. And I give them better deals than most. So and I plan on having at least 20 hives there.
Every one of ours gets a case of honey.
Yeah. Nice.
You guys are generous. I give mine nothing.
Hopefully you don't watch your stream.
I got to drive out here and work these things and bring my equipment and my bees out here. They're just sitting on your dirt. And I did have somebody this last weekend, which there's a couple parts to the story that I found interesting. One was they got a random letter in their mailbox from a beekeeper, not me, down the road that was asking them to put bees on their property. And then they came down to me to buy honey. And I said, oh, that's interesting that they sent you a letter just out of the blue, never, kind of like a cold call. And then they said, well, if you want, you can just bring hives down there. And they're a couple miles up the road. So if I do take them up when I make the splits here in a month or so and take some colonies down there, it would really, it's starting to build that triangle of yards, right? So now there should be a drone congregation area. So it should hopefully, if everything is by the book, should hopefully help with queen mating at that point. So I am looking to take some colonies down there. They said they had 40 acres. So I just
You
told
can max a yard out there then.
Yeah, I just told them the only thing that I require is that I don't have to notify them every time that I come down there, right? Because some people are like, "Oh, you can come, just text us when you're coming." Oh, that's not how this is going to work. If I bring
that's
there,
yeah, that's part of my contract as well. I have free access to come and go to the bee yard as I see fit. They have to notify me if they're going to use any pesticides, herbicides, fungicides within a 72-hour window. They need to notify me like this. I have certain dates that if they want me gone, they have to give me a certain amount of time. It has to be before this time of the year. It can't be moved during winter time. There's like I go over like everything in my contract. Even though they're my friends, you always got to have contract, you know?
Yeah, the one misunderstanding, especially among friends.
Mm-hmm.
let me see.
I enjoyed your cold call, Brad. I didn't think you were ever going to get out of the truck.
Yeah, I was just stalling. It's like I was going to the dentist or something.
Yes, we are planning to work together this season a little bit there, DC.
And that was the first of 3 I did. I didn't film any of the other 2. It's kind of the same. And it went well. It went well with those 3. I was promised callbacks, and one of them has contacted me, and we're working out delivery to the store now. So
I don't see any bruises.
no, and that's kind of why I wanted to make that little piece, because nobody likes it. Everybody gets nervous. I do too. Feel weird doing it, but it's never been a bad experience ever. It's not always a yes.
Right.
So worst that can happen is they can say no thanks.
They turn into a good little visit usually.
Actually, yeah, that one, the first one I did, that one, I had a really good talk with the grocery manager. He's a new grocery manager there, and he's very excited about the product, and I had a really good visit with him.
You're talking about cold calls for new groceries?
Yeah, grocery stores.
Well, remember, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right?
That's right. And I haven't expanded my retail operation for quite a few years now, and I decided that's my 2026 goal, is to get a few more stores.
Nice. You got any health stores in your area?
I have one. In the city.
Try to get in with them. I swear to God, they love like local honey. If they can get local honey, he
really loves my product. He really doesn't move very much of it, but he really loves my product. So he'll order up, and I'll take it over there. No problem.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have like a minimum?
Really nice guy.
Do you have a minimum for customers for like what they should order monthly, or?
My official minimum is just a case, right?
Okay.
If you want a case, I'll bring it over. But if I'm in the store and they need 4 jars or something, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'll fill the shelf. I'm not going to walk away.
Well, if you're already there, it's like, go ahead and fill it up, right? Save yourself some time next time, maybe some gas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
It's another $45 in your pocket, Bob.
That's it.
Yeah. Another $45, man.
That's it.
I just saw the Square notification because it was all credit cards, and I sold 45, but I only netted 43.53. So
yeah, well, they need their cut.
You use Square Up?
That card.
What's that? I use
Square Up, right? Square Up app or whatever it's called.
No,
yeah.
Is it Square Up?
I think it's Square Up. Square. If they call it Square, but it's SquareUp.com or whatever.
Over time, but yeah.
I just got it this year. Before it was just like I was doing cash or Venmo. Venmo is just such a pain in the ass. So what we do is we still accept it, but anything that would make Venmo is we use for write-offs for our business, because we'll get like DoorDash with it, so we can write off 50% of business dinners.
Right.
So maybe once a week we have our little business meeting. We have our Venmo balance. It just sucks when people start paying all credit card, or you don't have any Venmo balance anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens. Like, and we talked about this yesterday a little bit, Brad, was that my little cash jar was full of cash, and I took it to the bank, and now it's empty. And then I have a day that's like $45, and it was all credit card. So
Yep.
like no cash,
No
right?
cash.
No
I
cash.
don't prefer cash. I don't prefer cash. I would rather the money go straight to my bank because that's where I pay all my bills.
Yeah.
And I got plenty of bills to pay.
Yep.
If I get cash now, I got to drive to the bank, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is the liquor store is between here and the bank, so
Gotta make
you got
stuff.
you got cash in your pocket. Like that just doesn't work out.
I'm
Too many
actually really
distractions.
good with the cash. And like the cash will sit there. But I'm really bad when I stop somewhere and I can just whip out the debit card. Right?
Yeah.
The cash, I don't carry it. It just stays. And then once it builds up, I put it in the bank and then I pay bills with it. But it's easy to do when you have cash. I don't have any cash right now. So got it. So you know what that means? Tomorrow might be a table day. But I was
We'll
looking.
make another $45 tomorrow.
I know. What the hell, Bob? You're getting slack. But I looked at the forecast and it's actually calling for rain tomorrow.
Oh no!
See, that's where that trailer would be handy.
Well, it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, it would be great. Even the building. But people will not stop.
People not going to come.
You don't think so?
Wait for the next nice day, right?
You think they look at the table and they're like, poor bastard, let me stop for him.
It's possible. It's possible. But, I've had times, and it's really kind of crazy. I've had times when I'm sitting there for hours and nothing happens, and all of a sudden I got 4 or 5 customers at the table. Like they all just pulled. Were you guys sitting in McDonald's and just decided to come buy honey? I don't know. I mean, it's just they just come in.
Wait till you start working hives. You'll just get to the hive and there'll be cars pulled up.
Yeah.
It's always when you got the first super taken off, right? And you're looking in the colony. You're trying to do a brood boxes.
We stopped minting pennies, but it's worse than that. We don't even have any dollar bills. I look at all this stack of dollar bills that Bob gets, and it's like, boy, I'm glad we don't have dollar bills now.
I felt like a legitimate drug dealer yesterday when I went to the bank. I mean, I had a damn stack.
It took on a horse.
I think the drug dealers call it knots.
Some knots.
A knot of money.
I got stacks. I should just be like, I should just start being old and start putting it in a shoebox. And then when I pass away, someone will come here and be, why has Dad got all these shoe boxes? And they're just loaded with cash, right?
Put them in ammo cans and just break into the drywall and stack them and then reseal it.
Right. Seal it back up again. Just make sure you check the walls before you sell the place.
I'll tell you what, I was real tempted when I moved into my place to knock some walls down and see. We're in a 1945 farmhouse, so you never know. I've been digging in the yard when I was putting our fencing up for the livestock, and I'm like, what am I hitting? And it's a jar. Happened to not break with the post hole digger, so I reach down there and I grab it. It's a Duraglass with 1 S, and I looked that company up. And I think it's like from like 1930 or something like that, and it was just buried in my backyard. And I'm like, well, that's cool.
Nothing was in it.
Nothing was just dirt. No lid on it. So I've got it in one of my shed windows, just hanging out, collecting dust.
Well, guys, it is 10:25. I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream. We've been going for 2 hours and 24 minutes. Thank you for everyone that did give a thumbs up. I just refreshed. We got 56 thumbs up. So I guess that's a little bit, that's probably 60% of the people that were actually in here when we had 90. So thank you to the 60% of you who thought it was worthy to click a thumbs up and help the channel out. The other 30%, you know who you are. I'm watching.
You know who you are.
and we'll see you guys on. Hey, this is the only original No Life Beekeeping chat. So come see us next Tuesday, and we'll see you then. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.